Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Rabbi Isai, we have a chassan in the house. Get over here. Dovi, Shalom Aleichem. What minyan you did davening? The first one? Good. We want to say Tachnun. We love Tachnun. Mazel Tov. Shkoyach for coming. What a chizuk. What a chizuk. Unbelievable. I'm pumped from going to the chasana now. That's it, right here. Give a bracha, no? Give a bracha. Arichas Yomim. Say shiurim for a very long time. I have to dance? If I dance now, I'm potter?
You dance now.
No, I'm not potter. Mazel Tov. Thank you for coming. What a chizuk. No, isn't that a chizuk? The day of. Who's your shoimer? Rabbi Isai, Dovi is getting married tonight, and it came to shir. It's Yomi. It's about the Yomi. Be'ez Hashem will be here tomorrow morning also. Didn't Yaakov come? Like Yaakov came something like, not that. No, okay, whatever. Hi, Rebelli. I've been listening to the shir since the start of Yevamis. Wrote to you a couple of times since. For this message, I will not reiterate how life-altering your shir has been for me. I will not restate that I went 20 plus years without learning before finally recommitting myself. And that while I completed Shas, I was learning about myself and how learning with you has taken me my Torah and learning to new places. I truly can't wait to learn with you each day. My wife loves it when I tell her some of the incredible insights that you bring to share, and will often replay certain segments so she can hear it directly from Rebelli. Anyway, that wasn't the point of this email for this message. I wanted to send you something that's been on my mind for several months now. And when you once spoke about the commitment alone, I had tears in my eyes thinking of the tremendous Mesiras Nefesh that goes into what you do so that we all may have a better learning experience. I also know that you have somewhat of an understanding of the sports world, and for this purpose, this analogy might be fun. So enjoy the attached photos, and perhaps your Talmidim will want to come up with a different nickname than the Iron Magid Shir, laughing out loud. Your Talmud, Mickey Hyman, Cedarhurst, New York, he attached pictures of Cal Ripken, 2,613 or something. But I'm not saying about myself, but there's people that like Rabbi Sharieli went like years and years without stop. Much more impressive than Cal Ripken, because Cal Ripken, yes, he played 2,600 games, but there's like 3-day breaks between games. The Yomi, it's a different kind of record.
He's also washed up at the end.
Huh?
He's also washed up at the end.
Okay. Hi, really. I feel as if I know you personally, and we have a super close Rebbe Talmud relationship, even though I've never met you. My name is Joey Sanford. I've been in town with you since the beginning of Nazir. I live in Riverdale, New York, and I've been to 2 live shiurim, Borough Park and Motzei Shabbos, the White Shul, but never came up to you. Doing the daf is such an important part of the day. I feel that it gives me a longer day. My wife is the driving force behind it all, and she values me doing the daf equally, if not more, than I do. Like you, I bounced around. I grew up in London, went to yeshiva, army, now live in New York. But doing the daf is critical to me wherever I go. Last week, my wife and I were trip back from Israel, went to United Arab Emirates. Attaches a video of me starting the daily daf in the Abrahamic shul in Abu Dhabi. Rabbi said, you've never seen a shul like this. I'm probably the only person so far to learn the daf in that shul. So I want to say, I'm not sure about that because we have a guy on Zoom almost every day. His name is Zevi Fliegman, and he hangs out a lot in Abu Dhabi and in Dubai. He's like a specialist in getting companies together. So he's there, and he's almost every day on Zoom. So I don't know if he's in the shul or not. He'll probably say that he was, if you asked him. I'll call upon him. Maybe he's not. Maybe Joey's the first. So this shul was built by the sheikh and opened in February 2023. Think all you do, the Torah reaches every corner of the earth. Not only that I love your Torah, it's so approachable. I love that I feel, listen to this, I love that I feel as if I'm in such a close bonded cheer group made up of every type of Yid. Thank you for Thank you to Ephraim Bencher for getting me into the daf. You changed my kavei itim. Thank you to Rebellion and all that you do. All the best. Joey Sanford, Rabbi Sai, here's the shul. Incredible. I thought it's beautiful. Good morning, Rabbi Sai. All right, fine. Rabbi Sai, the coil is sponsored by Anonymous, the stuff is sponsored by Moshe Banda. To thank Hashem that I'm able to thank him for everything that I have. The sponsor of the month, Lili Nishmas Chai Bas Yosef. Another sponsor of the month, Lili Nishmas Zechariah Ben Moshe. Another sponsor of the month, Hashem should open up all the tzinorot of bracha for Baruch Tzvi Nissim ben Shoshana Lea. Amen. The Paris Hayoim, Yidel4 Katz, lezchut, lebni, chaya, ומזוני, and Yitzchak ben Sarah Saasha, Choldov Sela. I think this is נחמה. Reb Levi Yitzchak ben Sarah Saasha, Choldov Sela. Brain intact, unleash your full potential, should be zayich l'nachas kedusha and tremendous success in all my endeavors. Ari Slasky, to thank Hashem on my 61st birthday. You know him?
Yeah.
Avade. And Zaida Dovid Yehuda Leib ben Avraham Moshe's yartzeit, the art of the month, for complete refuah for Chaim Tzvi ben Leah. Boys, here we go. Daf Yomi Amud Aleph. Don't take this for granted. It doesn't happen very often that we are on the Amud that we need to be on. L'refuah shleima, Yidel4 Bas Saro. Rabbi, this is a riddle that I don't think anybody's going to get. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name, Tzaddik? Kilan from? Oh, a guest from Stadt. From Stadt. Okay. Your name? We've been brother. You're here for the thing. You come all the time. Okay. You're sitting in the wrong place. That's why. So we had like this. The Mishnah says everybody could bring a get. I'm sorry, to write a get. And the Gemara asks, but they don't have das. So we saw two tirutzim yesterday. We're going to go over the second one. We went over quickly, so we'll go over it again. The Gemara says it goes according to Aلیعزر, the Masiri Karte. However, we have and when you say the Masiri Karte, the get has to be written lishma. So we have a gadol, we have an adult that stands above him and tells him, do it lishma. And that's what we're going to see right now. We said yesterday, it goes according to Remeir, that the chasim karti. And now, that's where we're holding. So, I was in the middle of a riddle, yeah? The riddle is, and this is for 1,000 points, it's almost impossible to get. How's it possible, and no funny jokes here, how's it possible that a human being is half their body is male and half is female? No, they're 100% half and half. Like you could literally pick up, say this half is zachar, this half is nekeva. Either they're 100% or it's not 50-50. Yeah. No, there were two people. Two separate people, and they were okay. Maybe, but today. No. That's not where I'm going with. You'll see. You're not going to like the answer. Okay. We're holding 5 lines down from the top. He said Adam Chava. Very good. Hadamar Rav Nachman. Then Rav Nachman retracted and he said, Lav Milsi Hidamri. This thing that I said, that a guy can't bring a get. We asked the kasha from a guy. We say that a guy can't bring a get, but it seems like a guy could write a get. So okay, a guy could write a get. We learned that a guy cannot. You could learn like Reb Meir that holds the chasima karti. So it's okay. A guy could bring a get, could write a get. So according to, just to see this, if you want to see it clear, according to Reb Meir, the chasima karti, so he holds that you need the signature of the get to be lishma. Reb Aلیعزر who holds the mesira karti, he holds that the ksiva has to be lishma. And a guy, he definitely has his own das. You can't be oimed al gabav and tell him what to do and what to think. He thinks he's on his own. But if you have a child, so he'll take instructions from an adult. Adult tells him, hey, I want you to think lishma. He'll think lishma. Omar Rav Nachman, Oimer Hoya Rabbi Meir. Says Rav Nachman, in the name of Rabbi Meir, Afilu Mitzoy Ba'ashba. Incredible halacha. Check this out, Rabbi Isai. I have two drawings here. Ooh, a little bit lower. Oy vey. Why was it so loud? Am I supposed to press on it? I forgot how to do this.
Hillary, look what I found for you in the garbage.
Shite. Or this one. So the first one Yoshi did, I did this one. Which one do you guys like? Anyways, fine. A guy jumps into the garbage can, he goes dumpster diving, and he finds a get. According to Rav Nachman, kosher. Filu mitzoy ba'ashpa, pel de gezach. He finds a get written, where's the lishma? It's completed, it's everything, it's in the garbage. As long as you sign it, it's kosher. That's the halacha in the name of Rabbi Meir. You find the get in the garbage, you just have to sign it. You found that you were lucky. The name of the wife, the name of the husband, the city, everything is perfect. All you need to do is sign it. It says that the pasuk says v'kasav law. It has to be l'shma. My love, ksivis haget doesn't mean literally the entire get has to be written with the intent of that woman, that man. Lo, chasima say them. So you'll answer no. The v'kasav law is going on the chasima. Eisvi rava kol sheget kol get shenichtav shaloi l'shumisha apostle. It says mefurish in the brisa. If it's not written with the intent of that woman that you want to divorce, it's not good. It's possible. Ema shenechtam shaloi l'shumisha apostle. You'll say that it was not signed for that particular woman. Then it's possible. Eisvei kshu koisvai, when you write a little bit of the get, ki'ilu koisvai l'shema. You write a little bit l'shema. It's as if you wrote the whole thing l'shema. So you see that you need l'shema over here. You have to write to get l'shema. You can't find it in a garbage can. My love, kshu koisvai la toiref l'shema, kilu koisvai la toifas l'shema. So let's just talk about the toiref and the toifas. Some Talmid Chacham in the neighborhood told me, came over to me a few days ago, he said, you know, all your charts, everything, but this chart I like the most. For him. So it gave me a Clarkite, a toiref, toifas, like whatever. Okay. So what's a toiref? Toiref is the top part of the get. Not exactly like we have over here, maybe close to that. It has the name of the husband, the wife, the city, and it says also Yumagureshes. Then the Taifas continues on, it says Yumuta to everybody, etc., etc., and the bottom part is the Chasima. So you have three parts of the get. So doesn't this mean that if you wrote part of it Lishma, you wrote the top part, the Toirev Lishma, Kilu Koisvai Letaifas Lishma, so you don't have to write the entire thing. As long as you write the red part Lishma, the blue part is good enough, even if you didn't have Lishma. Says Gemara, Loi. That's not the kavanah over here is Kshu Chaisma Lishma, Kilu Kaisma Lishma. You can't prove anything, you can't force any proof. It doesn't say what he wrote, so I'm going to say, you know what he did Lishma? The final part, the green part, the Chasima of the Eidim, that was Lishma, and that's all you need to do Lishma, and the rest is good enough. That would be like Rabbi Meir, because Rabbi Meir says that all you need is the Chasima Lishma.
Doesn't that mean that you still need to write a Lishma? It says if you sign a Lishma, it's as if you wrote a Lishma. But
and I don't. First of all,
Lishma, so who cares if it's as if you wrote a Lishma?
I hear, but it's as if I hear what you're saying, but it basically means you don't have to do anything else. That's what it said. It doesn't say you have to do a Lishma. It's ki'ilu you did a Lishma, meaning even if you didn't do Lishma, so even if it's in the garbage can, what's the difference if you didn't write Lishma or you found it in the garbage can? Is it a difference? It's the same exact thing, so that's it. Yeah.
Touches on it and it says
even though you only need chasima lishma.
That's what I'm going to do. From now on, when either one of you asks kasha, I'm going to say you. Let's say you ask kasha, say you look in the mesifta, and you, because both of you are using mesiftas and you're cheating.
What's the question?
Because
It says that the Torah is part of the chasam law.
What?
Even if you say the chasima.
But what difference does it make if your own wife is not lishma, the Torah is not lishma for your own wife, or the Torah was not lishma for somebody else's wife? The bottom line is, as long as you do chasima, it's as if the whole thing is lishma. That's how I understand it. I hear a diuk, but okay. V'boy seima.
There's no point to the chasima. The Torah gives chashivas to the chasima.
Okay. Of course. But the ikr is the chasima. When the Torah says v'kasav la, should be lishma, it's talking about only the chasima part. The chasima part. Okay. V'boy seima hani masniyasa mani. All these questions that you just asked me from the Brises, Rabbi Lezerhi, the Amarei the Mesir Karti. So according to Rabbi Lezer, you need ksiva l'shma. You ask me, it seems like you have to write it l'shma. Correct. According to who? Let's go back for a second. נחama. According to Rabbi Lezer, who says Edem Mesir Karti, so you need the ksiva to be l'shma. So don't ask me a question from a Brise that says that you need a ksiva l'shma. Yeah, that goes according to Rabbi Lezer. According to Rabbi Meir, you don't need ksiva l'shma. All you need is chasima l'shma. Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel. And now, finally, as I mentioned before, there's 3 answers to this one question. How does the Mishnah say that a shaita, cheresh, shaita, katan, could write a get? They write a get. Can you imagine? They can't write tefillin. They can't be a shliach. What could they? But they can write somebody's get. How's it possible? The shaita doesn't have das. Says the Gemara, and now we're going to go back to that. This that the Katan wrote a get in the Mishnah, he wrote 2 out of the 3 parts. He wrote the Taifas, not the Chasimas, but he wrote the Taifas. And he left over the Taif, which is the main thing. The Mishnah is not talking about that he wrote the Taif, he wrote the Taifas. Rebbe Lazar. Sorry, Rebbe Lazar. Rebbe Lazar says Edem Asiro, but you need the ksiva to be lishma, and therefore he cannot write the Torah. A katan can't write the Torah because that has to be done lishma. According to Rebbe Meir, would it make a difference? Let the katan write the Torah. So again, if you look over here at the 3 tirutzim, the first teretz and the last teretz go according to Rebbe Lazar. And the middle teretz goes according to Rebbe Meir, because the last teretz only goes according to Rebbe Lazar. According to Rebbe Meir, you don't need to say that he only wrote the Taifas, not the Torah, because according to Rebbe Meir, the main part is the Chasima. Says the Gemara of Rebbe Zreika, Omar Rebbe Yochanan, ain't a Torah. Nobody's going to listen to what you just said. Ma'ayin Torah. What does that mean? Why won't anybody listen? Or Baba Kana Diacha. The Mishnah is telling us, Shein Koyach Lishma. The Mishnah says Rashi's mizalzel in the whole get. The Mishnah is coming to tell you something. The Mishnah is saying that a katan could write a get. The Mishnah is trying to tell you that I'm putting down a get. A get is nothing to me, says the Mishnah. I'm mizazel in it. Ain't koyach l'shma. You don't. It doesn't have to be l'shma. Why? If you hold that it's the edim that create the get, not what's written in the get, not the written words, but the actual fact that they saw a divorce. So I don't care who wrote it. How could that be? A second ago. So again, let's go back. Rebbe Zreika Omar Rebbe Yochanan. Rebbe Zreika says in the name of Rebbe Yochanan that it's Remeir. That says the Chasima Karti. A second later, asked the Gemara, but we learned, where did we learn this? So I'll remind the Olam. Here. On the Mishnah Daf Yomi Beis. It says, Ein Kaisim V'Mechuber L'Karka. You can't write a get that's attached to the ground. And a second later, the next line, and if you did write it b'mechuber l'karka, you can't write it on mechuber l'karka. And what if you did? So the Gemara says it's a contradiction. So the Gemara over there says, another time. Here, this is what we're talking about. Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Vushishir mokamat toiref. V'Rebbe Lazar he. The Mishnah goes according to Rebbe Lazar. If that Mishnah goes according to Rebbe Lazar, the next Mishnah also goes according to Rebbe Lazar. So, how can you tell me, Reb Zreika, that it goes according to Reb Meir? You just told me that it goes Reb Yochanan, the one you're quoting, your Rebbe, Reb Yochanan, he said it's not Reb Meir, it's Reb Elazar. Says the Gemara, we have no choice. We're going to have to say that Reb Zreika and Rabbi Khan heard something else. They both went to the same shir. It happens here all the time in this room. People hear different things. They hear what they want to hear. They both said the opposite. He says, I heard Reb Yochanan say, the Mishnah goes like Reb Meir, and he says, I heard Reb Yochanan say, the Mishnah goes like Reb Elazar. What are you going to do? Okay. The Heilige Mishnah sponsored by Eli Friedman. Leading Shmas, my dear father, Chaim Avraham Shalom Yeruchim ben Yisrael Dovid Olav Shalom. Hakol Ksherim Lahavi is a get. Now, anybody could bring a get, be a shliach for a get. Chutz, Mecheresh, Shoita, V'Katan, V'Suma. You have a Cheresh, Shoita, V'Katan. These are three individuals that don't have das, or they're not in the parsha of Ish. V'Suma. Not always do we have a blind person together with the Cheresh, Shoita, V'Katan, which remind me, you don't have to laugh at this one, but to be yartzeit, there was a blind schnorr at its goods. This is the famous shtibel in Bnei Brak. He's collecting money. In walks an elderly person. So he tells the guy, he says, Zaida, give tzedakah to a blind man. So the guy's like, wait a minute. If you're blind, how do you know I'm a Zaida? He says, oh, I was confused. What I meant to say, give money to a deaf man. Okay. But it's on the same line over here. So, yartzeit. So a guy, a summa, they can't be shlichim. What if the katan matured? First, he received the get to bring to the wife, but he was a katan, so he's puzzled. And then he got older. So if we stop right here, what's the halacha? It's no good. Why is it no good? Because when he received it, he was puzzled. Doesn't matter what happened afterwards. So the same thing would be cheresh v'nispakeach. If he was, because a deaf mute halachically doesn't have das, he got whatever, he became smart again. Suma v'nispakeach. He v'nispatach. He got his eyesight back. Sometimes you see even at the Yemazed, they do like a procedure. Somebody's blind his whole life, and then they do something, and he can start seeing again. Shoita v'nishtapa. He was a meshugana, and then he became sane again. So the halach is all the same. When he received the get, he was a guy, and now today's a yid, puzzle. What if he started out, he received the get when he was kosher, and then v'nischarish, and then he became a shoita, and then he became a chacham, a non-shoita. He became sane. So this is an important line over here. He was blind / he could see. And then, no, does it start the opposite? Yeah, no, he was able to see, he became blind, and then he's able to see. Shafui, v'nishtata, v'chaza v'nishtapa. A shaita, I'm sorry, a normal person, insane. Kosher. Because when he received it, he was kosher, and when he gave it, he was kosher. So in between, he had a little episode. We're going to ignore that. Kosher. As long as he starts off when he received it, he was kosher. I guess there's no, what would we call it? There's in kachim we have a hefsek. What's it called? What? Dichoy.
It doesn't ruin the shlichus.
There's no dichoy. How does it go? Dichoy, not dichoy mikara. Oh, nira v'nitcha. Very good. Thank you. Nira v'nitcha. That's the lashon I was looking for. Nira v'nitcha. You don't have nira v'nitcha over here. Over here it's nira. He was able to see. Nitcha. It's okay. Later on he saw. Great. You see, they have big Talmid Chacham. Why you? Givaldik. Huh?
Why are you surprised?
Why? Because I didn't go to YU. I didn't know. I'm learning now. Everybody's quiet. All the guys that learned in yeshiva, all the time we have guys in koil, have Rosh koil, this, that. I'm not saying a lot of Shlomi light because he's not a guest. He's been here. How many times have you been here, Shlomi? Lost count. That's it. Once, twice. That's it. You're not a guest. And the Varai is sitting over there, not over here. Says the Gemara, Bishloim acher shaydiv katan the lebni deyanin. Acher shaydiv katan they can't bring a get because it says in the pasuk v'yikhu lahem ish sel lebeis avos sel habayis. So we learn from this pasuk in Kedushin that in order to be a shliach, you have to be a ish, you have to be a bardas, which is interesting because this is talking about Korban Pesach, and in America and Chutz La'aretz, I believe there's still in Baal Oischa, right? Yeah. Which is Pesach Sheni, and there's other discussions there about Korban Pesach. And why not a guy? Why can he be a shliach? The lav barateru. Because he's not in the parsha of heter, meaning he's not in the parsha of get. I'll take some more. No, not you. Wow. Schus. But what is wrong with the summa? Summa has das. What in the world could it be? Omer Rav Sheishes, Lefi Sheinu Yidea, Mimi Noitla Lumi Noisnoi. It's very interesting. Rav Sheishes, as we know, was blind. He was a Talmud of Rav. Thank you, Yishkoyach Gadol. He was a Talmud of Rav, and he did it himself. He wanted to be like Rav, a whole thing. He knew Kol HaTorah Kuli, used to chazer over Torah every 30 days. So it didn't have a big impact on his Torah, but he didn't want to look out. I guess maybe you have to be a summa to understand, to feel it. Sometimes you're missing it. Like if you're not in the parsha, you don't know what a blind person feels and knows. Says Rav Shiz, I'll tell you. Think about it. A blind person doesn't know who the husband and wife are. Maybe they're fooling him. Maskif Rav Yosef. Ask Rav Yosef, another blind person. Says, I would have a big problem, says Rav Yosef. If blind people, you can't trust them who they know and who they don't know, how are they mutter to their own wife? How is any person mutter to his own wife when he can't see? There's voice recognition. I know who my wife is based on her voice. Huh? And she knows me.
Why can't she give the
What do you mean?
She tell the sunnah.
In what case? A husband and wife? Yeah. Well, trust her? How are you going to trust her? On the Asha Sish? And if they're both blind? Okay, Bekitzer, how do you... A shayla. She didn't say anything. How is he mutter? The answer is because he recognizes, you could trust a blind person to recognize the Asha Sish based on her voice. So over here also, maybe if you're saying to the kala, you can recognize the couple, he knows who they are based on their voice. Elam Rav Yosef, it happens to be just very interesting for me. Many people told me over the years that they recognize me based on my voice. I have more than other people, I think, because I hear it a lot. Like, oh, they heard my voice once before the shir. Like, it was okay.
It's funny because people used to hear me double speak.
Right, so now they don't do that anymore that much. Now they see because they recognize me from my... Okay, fine. You should have seen people. It's not a joke. People that listen on 1.5 speed, when they come to a live shir, it's like literally something's wrong. It's like, what is going on here? And the people like looking at me like then I chap. They're staring at me because something is very wrong. Yeah? Emes? He's laughing because it's mamish emes. Something is slow about him today. And they chap. Oh, I'm not in double speed. Okay. What do you say to the call? Chanami, what do you say to the call? Elo Amar Rav Yosef. So Rav Yosef, we're talking about a get that came from Chutz La'aretz, Eretz Yisrael. How could the summa, the reason why the summa is possible, the blind person is possible, because he cannot testify that he saw befanei nechtav ubefanei nechtav. He can't say, I saw them writing and I saw them signing it. What if he wasn't blind when it happened? He saw it. He witnessed everything. So today that he's blind, he could say that he witnessed the get. Yidel4, according to what you said, he's kosher because when he witnessed it, he wasn't blind. And today, so what if he's blind? He could testify on what he saw. But I'll prove to you that it's not true. Kosher. It says in our Mishnah that if he started out not blind, then became blind, then he returned to being not blind, then it's kosher. So he's medayik. It's only because he went back to not being blind. But if he remained blind, he cannot testify. Says the Gemara, no, not a good deal. No, it's even if he didn't go back. Because the rest of the cases is talking about a guy that he was normal, became insane, and then came back to be sane. In that case, if he didn't come back to be sane, so today he's what? A meshugana. A meshugana cannot bring a get. So it has to be that he went back. There's a third step. So therefore, the whole Mishnah to be, what's the word? Everything is uniform. Everything is one case that he started out one way. He had an episode in the middle, and then he became not blind anymore. But you don't have to say that he's not blind. I'll prove to you the lashon of the Mishnah says if he started over with das and he ended over with the das, then he's kosher. Kashrus means that he was as he was before. So Meila Suma doesn't have to go back to where he was. What about a slave that's not her slave? So I want to ask the Olam a Shiloh. Let's see if the Olam did kahut. Is there a way where if a woman has a slave, the slave could accept the get for the woman? Does anybody remember? Yeah. This case right over here. Yeah, this guy. Oh, okay. Evet, kafus, and sleeping. It needs the two klolim. And why does it work in this case? Because, very good, you hear? Teddy bear. No, Leiby from Koilel says, because it's chatzar. Kinyan chatzar. Not because the Eved is kinder for you. Okay. So the shaila is, what if you have another slave that's not yours? Can a slave be a shliach to accept a get for the woman, or can he be a shliach to do haylacha? Both cases. The Gemara says Kabbalah, the Gemara means also haylacha, says Rashi, and it's obvious from the continuation of the Gemara. I'll prove it to you. How come it says in our Mishnah that a guy cannot bring a get? It should say much better. What comes first? When we say brachas in the morning, we say Shalaisani Isha, Shalaisani Aved, Shalaisani Goy, Shalaisani Isha, Shalaisani no. Shalaisani Goy, Shalaisani Aved, Shalaisani Isha. Right. Goy, Eved, Isha. Goy, Eved, Isha. In other words, Eved is chayv mitzvahs, so it's similar to a woman. It would be a much, much bigger chiddush to say that a Eved can't bring a get. Why say that a guy can't bring a get? B'chlal Eved kosher. Okay, so the Gemara says, Psak halacha. Eved is kosher, right? The third word into the Amud, Eved is kosher. Sponsored by the Friedman Family, for our sisters נחama Lea, Bas, Yidel4 Katz, Avraham Moshe, and sponsored, Lili Nishmas, our sister, Chana Etel, Bas, Yidel4 Katz, Avraham Moshe. Should we go to Zoom? It's kind of late. No, you can't go to Zoom today. Baruch or any day. This Mendel is not going to be happy. Okay. Omer Avasi. Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Comes Rav Asi in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, another Rabbi Yochanan today, and argues. Ein ha'eved nasa shliach l'kabel get li yishom yimad bayil. We said a second ago, Eved is kosher. No, Eved is possible. The reason is because he's not in the parsha of a get. You have to be involved in it. You have to be able to receive a get from somebody in order to be a shliach for somebody else. A Eved cannot receive a get and get divorced, and he's not in the parsha of Kiddushin. That's it. So you can't be a shliach for masculine Rebbe Lazar. Time in b'milsa delesa. Ho b'milsa the isa kosher. You're telling me that if an Eved is in the parsha So he would be able to be a shliach. Let me bring you an example, says the Gemara. This new b'torah is truma. The nafshayu, a guy and a kusi could make truma. We're not going to show you the whole thing again, but truma. So Rashi just says very interesting that a guy cannot buy land in Eretz Yisrael. It's not his to buy. So his food is tevel. His food is chayiv in truma meiser because he can't be mafkia the halach of the food. All food that grows in Eretz Yisrael, if you're Jewish, is chayiv in truma meiser. You cannot buy a field from a Jew. It's owned by the Jew. So you can't be mafkia it. And also, another halach is, since it's chayiv, if the guy goes ahead and makes truma meiser, it works. Because we learn in this pasuk, ish. The second ish tells me that it works. That a guy also. Okay. Says the Gemara, so if a guy makes truma, it's truma. So if so, a guy is in the parsha. Eved is in the parsha of truma. So it comes out based on what you told me, that if somebody is in a parsha, Eved is not in the parsha of Gittin Kedushin. If he was in the parsha of Gittin Kedushin, he could be a shliach. So a Eved and a guy who are in the parsha of Truma Meiser, they can take Truma Meiser. If the guy doesn't take the Truma Meiser, you're also to eat that food. He's in the parsha, so he should be able to be a shliach for a Jew. If a Jew says, hey, make Truma Meiser on that pile of fruit, he should be able to do it according to what you just told me. Ain't truma, even if the Jew tells him to do it, it's not good. My taima, atem, gamatem. So it says in the pasuk, "Kinturimu gamatem." Obviously, you're waiting for a joke. Not going to happen. Guys, never he's sitting there with the camera waiting for. Okay, gamatem. Gam. What's gam? Kinturimu atem trumas Hashem. What's also to teach us matem Yisrael avshluchachem Yisrael. So Rashi sticks in here, because as I was learning, it was bothering me a little bit. It's a special diuk only in Truma. No, so it says Rashi, once I learned that idea that to be a shliach, you have to be Jewish, we learn it to all the Torah. Okay. Amud Beis Loi. What? Where do you want me to start from?
What did you learn from the Truma?
Learn from Truma that if somebody, even if a guy is in the parsha of Truma, he could be mafresh. He could take 10 apples out of 100 and give it to the kohen. And if a Jew eats those 10 apples, chayiv misa, it's good Truma. Yet if a Jew tells that guy, be my shliach to do my Truma, he can't do it. So you see, just because you're in the parsha of Truma doesn't mean that you can be a shliach. Says the Gemara, no, where were we? Amr de Rabbi Anai loy ma'atem b'nei bris avshluchachem b'nei bris. A eved, you have to have a bris. In other words, two brisim. A bris with mitzvahs and a physical bris milah. So it comes out that Mazel Tov. It comes out, not Mazel Tov. It comes out that a Mazel Tov. Everybody's Mazel Tov today. It's a sheer's simcha. Okay, so it comes out like this, that an Eved who's in the parsha of what?
Bris.
No, he is.
No.
Eved does have a bris. Eved has a bris and he's chayiv mitzvahs. So really, Eved should be good for a shliach. He's in the parsha. No, so he's a yid. He's in the bris. That's why Rabbi Yochanan comes and says no, but he's not in the parsha of get. You have to be in the parsha of get. So when it comes to truma maisras, okay, he's in that parsha. But when it comes to being a shliach for a get, says Rabbi Yochanan, it's not enough that he has a bris milah and that he's chayiv mitzvahs. He has to be able to give a get, and he can't give a get to himself. So in Mela, he can't bring a get for somebody else.
How are women sleep?
They're in the parsha of get.
No, there's not a bris.
But they're chayiv mitzvahs. They don't they bench? They bench all the. Yeah. When what they're available, but the bris tired. That's why Rashi says bris mitzvahs. Fine. Get isha. Miad baila. So he starts off saying that an evet cannot bring a get. And then all of a sudden he says, and he explains, like we said before, because they're not in the parasha. So even though we learned that now we're jumping from a wife to a slave. If he says, Yushivcha uvladich ben chayrin, imhaisa ubara zachsalai. So if the baby that she's carrying, she's carrying a baby, she's pregnant, then she's zoicha for the shichur of the baby. So the Gemara says, Mayim haisu ubara zachsalai. What connection we're talking about a get, and then you're talking shichur. This woman could receive a get shichur for her baby. You know why? Because she's in the parasha shichur. We're talking about, can a slave take a get for a woman, gerushin? And then when all of a sudden he sticks in a case of going free, she could be zoich for somebody else maybe, because she herself could go free, but she herself cannot be in a get. So what do we bring your raya from that? Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan Tarti Omar. There's actually another halacha here. He said halacha about a slave could bring a get for a woman. You're right, but there's another halacha going on here. Nir dvarim she'eved mekabel get lechaveroi miyad rabbi shechaveroi aval loy miyad rabbi sheloi. What's going on here? So there's a few halachas here, very interesting halachas that we have to see. First of all, a slave cannot accept a shtar shichur, a release for another slave. Let's say he is a slave with somebody else under one master, so he can't receive that get, shichur, for his friend. Why? Because his hand has the same halacha as his master's hand. So the master cannot take from the right hand and put in the left hand. So how could a slave receive a get for himself? How could he take the get like this? His hand is his master's hand. So now we say, Gittin v'yadai ba'im ke'echad. Says Rabbi Yochanan, that's only when that other slave is together with you in slavery. But what about another slave, somebody else? What are you saying? Gershon, what? What? Gershon, what? Oh, okay. So what about somebody else's slave? So, what about somebody else's slave? The answer is that somebody else's slave, he could be makabel. She'evim makabel get l'chaver miyad rabbi shechaveroi. Avaloi miyad rabbi sheloi. Not from his own because yada evik yad rabbi, but he could accept for his friend. If somebody whispers to you, what about the fact that there's a second slave here? There's a baby involved. They both work, a mother and her fetus. The baby she's carrying are both working for one master. And the halacha is she could accept the shtar shichur for that baby. And marloi shnei g'doylei ador pishus adavar. Tu g'doylei ador. It's very fascinating. There's such a thing as tu g'doylei ador, by the way. There's not only one g'doylei ador. There's also something called tu g'doylei ador. You could go to two people. There could be tu g'doylei. Okay. Reb Zero, Reb Shmuel, Rav Yitzchak, Chad Omar, Romani, Rebbe, Domar, Meshachar, Chetzi Avdoi. Kana. That what? If you release half of your slave, so the other half is kaina, you kaina the whole thing. V'chad Omar, and the continuation of the pshat is, he's explaining, my time the Rebbe Baha, what's pshat? Kosovar ubar yerech imayu. Because the baby is considered one limb with the mother. Says Rashi over here. That it's half of her body, says Rashi. So as a 1,000-point riddle, it's a little bit cheating, but it says here that a baby is half of the mother. So if the baby is a zachar and the mother is a nekeva, so you have half zachar, half nekeva. You don't like that, okay. So again, נחמה, we had a shayla. How could this mother who's a slave and works for the same master as the baby be kaina a get shichur for her baby? The answer is because the baby is her. It's one and the same. She's not being kaina for a second slave. She's kaina for herself. Says the Eli Mishnah, sponsored by Eli Friedman. My dear father, Ben Yisrael Dovid Shalom. So I just want to show you this thing real quickly. Take a look at this. Here we go. We have a mother-in-law, a mother who happens to be a mother-in-law. This is Don's mother. Here's the husband, Don. Don has a brother, and he also has a sister. So this is the sister. Now, he gets married to a woman, and he marries a second woman. He has two wives. These are all the women, Rabbi Isai, that hate that woman in purple in the middle. There's 5 women. The mother-in-law, the sister-in-law, and so over here, what we have is Don's brother, who could potentially go fife, is married to a woman. And if they don't have children on the left, so Don is going to have to be miyabim her. So she's a potential tzara. The second wife is also a tzara, a co-wife. The 5-towner all the way to the left is a potential co-wife. The second wife is a co-wife right now today. You also have the daughter of the husband of Don. She also hates her stepmother. Okay. And his sister is called Bas Chamoisa. It's the the daughter of whose wife? It's what do you mean? No, I mean stepdaughter, meaning the stepdaughter of Hillary. That's the stepdaughter.
It could be Hillary's daughter.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's just finish. These 5 women, you cannot trust them to say that Don died because they want to mess this lady up. They hate her, the sister-in-law, the daughter-in-law, they hate her. Why? There's some problems with the Yerusha later on. It's all about money. So they can make stories up. Nevertheless, the Manis Lav is as Gita, they're trusted to bring a get, and we don't think that they're going to be Mizai if they get, they're going to forge a get just to mess her up. Who are these 5 women? Chamoisa, the mother-in-law, Ubas Chamoisa, the husband's sister, Vitzarasa and her co-wife, V'yevimta, and a potential co-wife, Ubas, Bala, and her own stepdaughter, in other words, her husband's daughter. Ma ben get lemisa. But why is it that when it comes to testify about the death of the husband, they're not trusted? Shaksav mechiach, they come with a get, that proves it. Aisha Atzma, we learned this, Mevias Gita, a woman is believed to bring her own get. She has to say, have a wonderful day.